In the previous short video, we discussed about three types of failure of RCC beam. One is section which is designed as under reinforced section. Another one is of section which is designed as over reinforced section. And one more section which is designed as balanced section. Now we know that balanced section acts as a bifurcator between under reinforced section and over reinforced section. So in this video, we are going to discuss intricacies of balanced section. So let us consider the same example that we considered in the last video. We have a rectangular cross-section prismatic beam of width B and overall depth D. Its effective depth is small d as shown here. And let us say this section has been designed as a balanced section. Balanced section. So what do we mean by balanced section? So at the same time, when the extreme compression fibers of this cross section reach the ultimate compressive strain of concrete, which is 0.0035, the steel on tension side is going to reach the yield strain, and that is epsilon y. Now we are interested in finding out the location of neutral axis from extreme compression fiber, and let me call that location of neutral axis by notation x u b. What is the meaning of this notation? X stands for the distance of neutral axis from extreme compression fiber. U stands for at the time of failure, or at the time when the cross section has reached its ultimate moment carrying capacity. So therefore U stands for ultimate or at the time of failure, and B stands for balanced section. So therefore we are trying to now locate the position of neutral axis of a balanced section at failure in terms of known quantities. So what are the known quantities? The ultimate compressive strain in uniaxial compression of concrete has been reached at the level of extreme compression fibers. So we know this value of strain. We also know that the steel has simultaneously started yielding. Therefore, the value of tensile strain in steel is known, and that is epsilon y. We know that the zone above the neutral axis is going to be in compression as the cross section is subjected to sagging, and the zone below the neutral axis is going to be subjected to tensile strains because the beam is subjected to sagging. Now we also know that bending strain distribution diagram is linear because plane sections before bending are going to remain plane till failure. We have discussed this assumption in this video. Now, let us apply similarity of triangles to this triangle on compression side and triangle on tension side. So let me write down this distance. This distance is going to be d minus xub. So let us apply similarity of triangles. Xub upon d minus xub. Xub upon d minus xub is going to be equal to 0.0035 divided by epsilon y. We have just applied similarity of triangles here. Similarity of triangles in compression and tension. similarity of strain triangles. Strain triangles. On compression and tension side. We already know the value of epsilon y is 0.002 plus Fy upon 1.15 ES, where ES is the modulus of elasticity of steel and Fy is the characteristic yield strength. We have discussed this in this video. Now, let me substitute the value of epsilon y here. So what do I get? I get XUB divided by D minus XUB is equal to 0.0035 divided by 0.002 plus Fy upon 1.15 ES. Now, what is the value of E of steel? So, E is Young's modulus of steel and its value is 200 GPa. Or 200,000 MPa. This MPa is Newton per mm square. So I have taken the value of ES as 200,000 MPa, which is proven result. Now let us march to the next step. So on simplification of this equation, I will take D minus XUB on this side. So it becomes 0.0035 into D minus XUB. And then I will take 0.002 plus Fy upon 1.15 ES on this side. So it will be multiplied by XUB. Now you can observe there is 0.0035 into XUB here. That can be taken on this side. It will get added to 0.002 XUB. So once we take 0.0035 into XUB on this side, its negative sign will become positive, and therefore the value will be 0.0055 times XUB. This will be equal to 0.0035 times D of course one term I missed here, so it is 0.0055 XUB plus XUB into Fy upon 1.15 ES. Once I take XUB common from here, what I get is XUB is equal to 0.0035 divided by 0.0055 plus Fy upon 1.15 times ES. This whole thing multiplied by D. Now you can observe that this factor depends merely on the properties of concrete and steel, The property of concrete under consideration is ultimate compressive strain, and that is 0.0035. And the property of steel under consideration is its yield strain, that is 0.002 plus Fy upon 1.15 ES. It is interesting to note that as you change the grade of concrete, the ultimate compressive strain of concrete does not change. It fairly remains 0.0035. Therefore, this factor here is independent of grade of concrete, but it depends only on grade of steel. Once you choose the grade of steel, this constant assumes constant value. Now, I can express this position of neutral axis for balanced section XUB as constant KUB times effective depth D. So what is KUB? KUB is called as neutral axis factor, neutral axis factor for balanced section, for balanced section. So we have to understand that U stands for ultimate or at failure and B stands for balanced section. This is an interesting result. So let us put this result as a summary point. So what we get is neutral axis factor KUB is equal to 0.0035 upon 0.0055 plus Fy upon 1.15 ES. So if the section is designed as balanced section and if it has effective depth D, we can calculate position of its neutral axis at failure, which is measured from extreme compression fiber as this KUB times D. I want you to observe certain points here. This XUB, that is location of neutral axis at failure for a balanced section, is independent of B. That means if you have two cross sections having sizes 230 by 500, where 500 is effective depth and 230 is width, and you have another cross section of size 300 by effective depth 500, as long as the effective depth remains same, that is 500, the position of neutral axis at failure, if these cross sections were to be designed as balanced sections, will remain same, and that will be equal to KUB times D. Secondly, the value of neutral axis factor KUB is independent of grade of concrete, because irrespective of grade of concrete or irrespective of the concrete mix that we are going to use, its ultimate compressive strain is going to be fairly 0.0035. And therefore, this KUB or neutral axis factor for balanced section is independent of grade of concrete. However, it depends upon the grade of steel, because as you change the grade of steel, Fy is going to vary. If that is the case, can we make a table where we will go on varying grades of steel Fy, and we will go on writing down the values of neutral axis factor KUB. So let me write down the grades of steel. So first grade is 250, Fe 250. Then we have steel of grade 415, Fe 415. And then we have steel of grade Fe 500. The value of ES, as I said, is 200 into 10 power 3 MPa, Newton per mm square. So in this formula of KUB, now if I substitute the value of Fy as 250, 415 and 500, I will get three values of neutral axis factor. Let me list down those three values. So these values of neutral axis factor KUB for Fe 250 grade steel to Fe 500 grade steel vary from 0.53 to 0.46. Fe 250 will have KUB equal to 0.53, Fe 415 will have KUB equal to 0.48, and Fe 500 will have KUB equal to 0.46. Now let us quickly consider a small example. We will have three beams with different sizes of B and D. Let us say B is 230 for all the cross sections, all the three beams. So beam number 1 has width 230, beam number 2 has width 230, and beam number 3 also has the width 230. And depth varies from 300 . Let us consider it as effective depth and not overall depth. Let us say the overall depth varies from 300, 450 for second beam, and let us say 600 for the third beam. Let us also list down the grade of steel that we are going to use, or Fy that we are Fy of the steel that we are going to use in these three beams. Let us say the first beam is made up of Let us say the first beam is made up of Fe 250, second beam has a steel of Fe 415, and third beam has a steel of Fe 500. This beam is to be designed as balanced section. Where will the neutral axis lie at failure from extreme compression fiber? So for first beam, Fy is 250, so KUB is 0.53, so neutral axis would lie at 0.53 times 300. For second beam, it will lie at 0.48 times 450. And for third beam, it will lie at 0.46 times 500. I want to draw your attention to the fact that as you go on increasing the grade of steel, neutral axis factor decreases. For Fe 250 it is 0.53, and for Fe 500 it is 0.46. What is the meaning of this? So for example, let us consider the first beam here. If you have beam of size 230 by 300 mm with Fe 250 steel and it is designed as balanced section, the neutral axis would lie at 0.53 into 300 mm from extreme compression fiber. But if the same beam is now being designed using Fe 500, so therefore yield stress of the steel now becomes 500 MPa. In that case, if it is designed as balanced section, the neutral axis would lie at the distance of 0.46 multiplied by 0.46 multiplied by effective depth 300. So let us summarize. So what do we understand? Summary points are as follows. XUB by definition is the position of neutral axis at failure for a balanced section measured as the distance between the neutral axis and extreme compression fiber. XUB is given as KUB into D, where KUB is neutral axis factor for balanced section. We observe that KUB is independent of grade of concrete because ultimate compressive strength 0.0035 does not change with grade of concrete, whereas KUB very well depends upon the grade of steel. As grade of steel increases or as yield stress of steel that is provided increases, the value of neutral axis factor decreases. So with these summary points, we will close today's discussion. In the next short video, we are going to discuss about the stress distribution diagram at failure for a balanced section and how do we compute moment of resistance of a balanced section. Thank you.